In today's video, we're going to talk about flying. Do you enjoy flying? Yes, I do enjoy flying. I don't mind going on a plane and I'm not scared of it. But what I don't like about flying is the fact that you have to get to the airport about 2 hours before and go through security and take all of your electronics and liquids out of your bag. I think that is the worst part about flying. I say that the part of actually being on the plane, flying, is the most comfortable part. I don't like the waiting and going through security. But apparently in the European Union and in the UK, they are going to take away these measures. I have read that you won't have to take your electronics out of your luggage and that you won't have to separate liquids and keep them in smaller containers. I'm really excited about this and hopefully it will be implemented soon. What are the best things about flying? I think that the most obvious benefit of flying is the fact that you can travel such long distances in such a short time, especially if you go over water. It would take such a long time to travel from England to the US, for example. It would take ages if you went on a boat or a ship. The next question is, do you prefer flying or taking a train? I prefer taking a train because you don't have to be at the train station 1 or 2 hours before. You can just turn up 10 minutes before. Obviously I don't. I turn up 30 minutes before, but it's not the same as traveling by plane. You don't have to go through security either, so you can pack your bag however you want. You don't have to keep the liquids separate, go through security, and it's just a much more comfortable experience. I often get headaches from flying as well, so it's nice to feel okay and well after I get to my destination, because sometimes when I come off of a flight, I don't feel very well and it ruins that day for me. The next question is, do you think that flying has got worse or better over the years? Well, it's quite hard to answer this question because obviously flying has become a lot cheaper and a lot more accessible to a lot of people. But I normally travel with budget airlines, which mean that they are cheaper airlines. In the past, I used to travel with more expensive airlines because air travel in general used to be a lot more expensive. But about 15 or 20 years ago, you received a meal during the flight and that was included. I know that this depends on the airline. Nowadays, there are still some airlines that provide food, but they are more expensive. So like I say, it's quite difficult for me to compare because in the past I used to pay a lot more for the flights, whereas now you can travel to Spain for about 30 euros. It's often cheaper to travel abroad to Europe from England than it is to travel within the country because train prices are so expensive. Do you have an airplane routine when you travel? I don't have a routine that I follow when I travel by plane, but I always take a book, a cushion, just in case I want to fall asleep, and my headphones. I always use headphones even if I'm not actually listening to music, but because they are noise cancelling headphones, it reduces the noise of the aeroplane and it makes my head hurt less. Sometimes I take my tablet on the plane, and before I leave home I download different episodes of my favourite series so that I can watch them on the plane. But I don't always do this because it depends on how long the flight is. If the flight is only 1 or 2 hours, then I wouldn't bother. But if the flight is about 4 hours, then I would, because it's good to have a variety of activities to do on the plane. The next question is, do you think that flight attendants like flying? Well, I assume that flight attendants like flying. If not, you wouldn't apply for this job. I think that it's a very demanding job. You have a lot of responsibility and you have to spend a lot of the flight standing up. Being at such a high altitude must be difficult for your body as well, and of course on your mental health. I definitely think that it is a profession that should be more appreciated. Now we're going to see some idioms which are related to flying. When pigs fly is an expression that we use to say that something is not going to happen. So, for example, if somebody says, I'm going to clean the garage tomorrow, and the other person says, you'll clean the garage when pigs fly. So basically they're saying that they will never do it. A fly on the wall, as in the insect a fly, is an expression that we use when somebody is secretly listening or looking at something when they shouldn't be. So if you're having a private conversation with your partner and your child is secretly listening, he's a fly on the wall. To send something flying means to hit something and you hit it into the air by accident. So, for example, I was cleaning the bathroom and I sent the shampoo bottle flying. It means that I knocked it over and it went up into the air. To pass with flying colours means to do something very easily. For example, if you do an exam and you pass with flying colours, it means that you did it very well and it wasn't difficult for you. And time flies is the last expression that we are going to see. When you say that time flies, it means that it goes by very quickly. If you're talking about something that happened 2 years ago, but you thought that it was 6 months ago, you can say, time flies, doesn't it? So you're saying that time goes by very quickly. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.